So whenever we try to explain what reality is, we always want to appeal to physical descriptions. That's the only way we can remain scientific. If we give a description on the level of metaphor, say, or if we give a literary description of an event, we're not getting at the reality of it. Mm, we're reflecting an appearance, which is not the underlying causal form of the experience. It's not the essence of it. If we want to describe the level of events where causality really resides, we have to use a physical description. But what does physical mean? Does it mean that we can see it with our eyes? Does it mean that it has weight? Or does it mean that it can be clearly conceived of in the mind? Because, we use math, for instance, to map the physical world all the time. It's really, the fundamental basis of physics is mathematical. And so if we don't include in this word physical these clear and distinct ideas, which occur not out there where we can see and feel them, but in here where we can clearly imagine them, then half of science is no longer physical. So I think we have to agree that math is something that is included in a physical description of reality. So already we're forced to say that there's a certain degree of mind or thought or consciousness that is necessary for there to be a physical description of reality. And this, I think, really opens up a lot of doors. Because not only do we want a physical description of reality, but we want an evolutionary picture of reality. So whatever the underlying physical forms of reality are, they're changing. They're not stable. They're constantly developing. So science without this addition of evolution is basically Platonism. And it was formulated almost 2,500 years ago. So when we add, though, the evolutionary paradigm, the idea that these forms do exist, but that they're not these stiff, eternal structures, but these adapting and evolving and yet to be determined structures, we get modern science. Physical descriptions with evolution taken into account. And as we've already established, physical does not discount or eliminate the possibility of there being a conscious involvement in, what we think is out here and material and measured. There is a map maker and a map. There is, a scout, a voyager, and a environment or a place where the journey takes place. So we have to take into account an observer and an observed, an evolving observer, an evolving observed, and this really not only complicates the picture, but it doesn't allow us to say that there's only this exterior, materially determined world. There's this interior, this observer, which is responsible for the view, the point of view that it takes with regards to what exists out here. And the whole free will determinism dichotomy is based on a certain way of construing what causality is. If we're a determinist, we're saying causality is external to me. If we're someone who takes freedom more seriously, then we think that causality originates in here, and that I am in control. Determinists say, no, you are in control, or it is in control. So, which way is it really? Well, it's both. There is an observer, there is an observed. The observer is causally implicated in what's going on because the point of view one takes structures what's observed. You know, if you change your perspective, you change what is seen. This is, you know, embedded in Einstein's theory of relativity. It's the, you know, most mathematically sound physical understanding of what the universe is that we've yet to devise. And, you know, quantum physics is another example of a physical formula that is very accurate, but that requires an observer to be part of the physical description. So, not only is the outside, already existing external world causally implicated in the arising of a reality, but the observer is causally related to what is seen. And what is seen and what is there are hard. I mean, we can make a distinction between what is seen, what is perceived, and what already exists without having to be seen. We can intellectually understand the difference between the two, but can we actually experience a difference between the two? I'm not sure we can distinguish a difference between what I see and what is there. And so we can't really assign causality to either the external or the internal.